In this unit, we're going to explore the different types of routines that can be found in a classroom. The number one problem in a classroom is not discipline, it is the lack of procedures and routines. In essence, what Harry Wong is trying to say is that through routines and procedures we build positive behaviors, which is much easier than controlling a learner's negative behavior. Let's take a look at the different types of routines that can be found in a classroom. So now, there are three types. We have routines for organizing the classroom, the class itself, the learners, and yourself. There are routines that you can put in place for productivity, to help the learners stay on task and be more academically focused. There are also routines you can put in place for communicating, how you would like your learners to interact. So let's look at organizing. And the sorts of routines or procedures you could put in place is storing your school bags and books, taking roll call, sharpening your pencil, going to the toilet, dismissing learners at the end of the day or at the end of the lesson. These tasks are carried out quickly and effortlessly from the learners when they know what is expected of them. The next set of routines is for teaching, for keeping learners on track and being academically more productive. And here we have handing out work, learners handing in work, how to head their work, what is expected of them, what sort of behaviors is appropriate for when they're working in groups, and teacher-led teaching. So they understand what behaviors is appropriate when you, the teacher, are standing and talking to the rest of the class. The next set of routines is for communicating. And these include, again, behavior appropriate for when working in groups. When you're waiting your turn to talk, trying to get the teacher's attention so you can participate in a discussion. Constructive noise levels. When learners are working in pairs or groups or collaboratively, there is an element or amount of noise that is suitable for the classroom. So you and the learner needs to know that maybe when they're working individually, there's no noise. When they're working in pairs, it must be minimal. And when they're working in groups, you should allow for more constructive interacting and talking. And learners need to know what is expected of them when they're participating in a class discussion. What is appropriate behaviors and how do you expect them to conduct themselves? So now we've looked at the different types of routines, we're going to look at setting up a routine. So the first step in setting up a routine is to identify recurring and predictable classroom events. So find something that you know you will need to do often, such as taking roll call. And really, there are plenty of activities or tasks that you can apply routines to. A routine will make these tasks automatic and effortless for you and your learners. Secondly, once you have identified an event that you would like to instill a routine on, then you need to teach it to the learners. And this is done in twofold. You need to walk the learners through each step so that they can clearly know what is expected of them. And you yourself needs to demonstrate what needs to be done. So if it's handing in books, then when it's time to hand the books in, you not only tell the learners what is expected of them, but you yourself walk the class through the actual activity or task of taking their books and putting them exactly where you would like them to go. Next, you need to constantly review your routine and the effectiveness of it. Does the routine save you time that you want, or is it more of a hassle for the learners? Now, it's not impossible to change or revise a routine, but remember that the change may cause some learners to become a little bit confused or unsure in the beginning. The next step is to monitor your routine. And if you find that there seems to be some hassle surrounding a routine, then have a closer look. Is it just one or two learners that are just not really getting the whole process? Or is it the entire class? Is it the majority? If it is the entire class, then you might need to do a reminder session with the learners and refresh their memory on what is expected. If it is just one or two learners, you may need to decide on an appropriate consequence because it could be a behavioral issue more than an issue with your routine.